And welcome to Witch Hat Chats. Come on in and sit for our spell. We're sponsored by Evermoving We Rise, Moonlight Potions and Charms, and Saul Ravencraft, Wizard for Hire. I am your goddess host, Miss Flame Kirby. That's right, Miss Flame Kirby. And we're going to have our co-host around here somewhere. You know, he seems to just pop out of nowhere.
Hey,
It's
Nikki.
just
Or
amazing.
Flame. Flame. Are we calling you Flame now?
We're calling me Flame now.
Oh, well,
Yes,
Flame
yes,
on.
that's the name. It's
Flame
Flame.
on.
hmm We're starting with a new year, a new name, because that is what I'm going to adopt now.
Well, if you're going to call yourself Flame, then I'm going to call myself Saul.
So on.
Although I guess you could call me Saul. That's how
So,
uh, that's how the Hispanics pronounce my name, and I kind of like the sound of that actually, but it feels a little weird when I say it.
yep, that sounds so much better. Salut.
Saul.
Oh, salut. So,
No,
oh, oh,
Saul.
okay. We'll get that
It's
down
the
after.
Spanish pronunciation of the same word.
Oh, it's with oh, okay. So I was never really good in Spanish.
Well,
We'll do the French version later.
there you go.
I was better at French.
There you go.
You said, well, ours always got me in Spanish. So happy New Year. Happy
Indeed.
2025. And we are going to make a very, very great year of this year
Oh, sure.
because this year, not only is it our fifth year that we're already in the mid season four, but we're going to go into our sixth season. Yes, our sixth season that we're going to be going into in July. And so, do you guys want to know what our divination is? So let's start it off right, shall we?
Well, you betcha.
All right, so our T divination hmm, and it's from the movie A-Team. And A-Team was also a 1980s show that was amazingly awesome. But Liam Neeson played Hannibal Smith, and he gave this famous quote. And I say, give me a minute, I'm good. Give me an hour, I'm great. Give me 6 months, I'm unbeatable. Oh, so I want to know what the amazing Saul has to say about that.
Well, my first thought is that if you're gonna watch the A-Team, you got to watch the TV series. The movie's nice, I suppose, but you really have to go back to the TV series with George
Mhm.
Peppard and all those great Mr. T and everybody. I mean, that's just the way. Um, but I guess I see this in a couple of different ways. One is planning and preparation, right? The we all need to be able to improvise, but we also need to be able to decide what we want and to work toward that intention and to lay things out and gather resources and arrange them the way they need to be and to put it all in order. Uh, that's an important skill, uh, and so it speaks to that. But I also think it speaks to holding your energy on something, right? If you hold your energy just a little bit, yeah, you build up some energy and you can do pretty good. If you hold that energy longer, then you have a greater effect. And if you hold it for even longer, you can have a really profound effect. So I see it both from an organizational standpoint and from an accumulation of energy. And when we do things, the the longer we are willing to hold our energy on something, the more profound effect we're going to have.
Hmm. I see it in a multitude of ways. Um, I see number one, I see it as a way of calming yourself to center yourself. Because if you are in a multitude of rage about a particular issue, you're not going to be able to think clearly. And if you don't think clearly, your intentions, your magic is going to be scattered, and you're not going to be able to obtain what you want, at least not the way that you want it, if you understand how I'm saying it. When he says, give me a minute, he means, okay, give me a minute. I need to focus. I need to figure out what I have in front of me. I need to figure out, do I need anything? I need to figure out my team. How are they focusing? How are they calm? How are they going to be able to relate to this? He needs to be able to step back from what's going on and just kind of calm himself and then figure out the lay of the land and then step right back in. That's his minute to get his mind, his team, and everything together and focus and let's go. Um, when he has longer, he's able to get more of a better plan, better focus, more research, more tools, able to exact a better plan and able to um, go into better action with better, clearer, more focused intentions. Um, 6 months, those better focused intentions are already in depth of a plan that should have already been into action at least 2 months in advance. So he is basically telling you he is already in advance. He is already unstoppable, and he's already um, basically in the end game when it comes to chess. Um, End game is referring to in chess where they've already got you. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing that's going to stop them. There's nothing that will keep them from obtaining the goal that they want. So this is the reason why I selected this quote for the show for today. Because today, I decided that when it comes to every year, people selected resolutions, as Saul, you and I have had that conversation, right before we came onto the show, that most people, when they select their resolutions, they've already shoved them to the side by the second Friday of January. And I thought, that's pathetic. You haven't even given it a month. You've already decided, well, I'm not going to lose that, 5 pounds by the end of the month. I've already decided I ain't going to do that anymore. Or I'm not going to run that marathon, which, by the way, I would never have made that promise anyway because I hate running. Okay. I
Hmm.
would never do that. Or, you would never do this or this or that. Well, we talked last year about resolutions and about making things that are attainable or things that you actually want to do or things that you like and that you do it for yourself. But this year, Saul and I have decided instead of doing resolutions, because resolutions really are kind of nonsense, we are magical people. Don't do resolutions, do intentions. This is what we do. We do intentions in our magic. We don't do resolutions. We don't say, oh, okay, I'm just going to lose 10 pounds. And then we sit on our butts and do nothing. I mean, come on. We sit on our butts and we watch Matlock. Yeah, that's how we're going to lose our 10 pounds. We're going to sit on our butts and watch Matlock and NCIS and all of that. That's how we're going to lose our 10 pounds. Sure. I wish that's how we could lose our 10 pounds. There's some really great people that I can look at and go, "Woo, yeah, yeah, that's how I can lose my 10 pounds." My fantasies with them. Awesome. Yeah, sure. And I'm sure Saul has his wonderful, wonderful ways of sitting on the couch, losing his 10 pounds too. But he's got a wife, so he's not going to say anything. I'm still single. I can do that. Um, I'm trying to keep him out of trouble. Um, but when it comes to intentions, you really need to focus on those. And I think instead of making resolutions, you should make intentions for the year. And this is what I'm telling my coven, Evermoving We Rise. Make intentions. When you're making goals for your year, don't sit here and say, oh, I'm going to lose those 10 pounds. Okay, if you want to lose 10 pounds, awesome. All right, lose those 10 pounds. I encourage you to. You want to get healthier? Awesome. Get healthier. But don't lose them the wrong way. Don't lose them because, oh, I want to impress a boy, or I want to impress a girl, or I want to impress this person, or lose them for yourself. Lose them because you want to be healthier. Okay. Um, do something for yourself. Do these intentions for you. Don't do these intentions for somebody else. You want to get a better job? Okay, that's great. Do a job that you want because you want to be somebody who's better. Don't do a job because you think, oh, it's going to make more money. Well, it may make more money, but you may hate it. You may absolutely hate that job. I'm serious. Um, I've had people who have quit jobs that they loved that made less money, and they got jobs that they make more money, but they absolutely hated that job and they wish they never took it, because it took them away from their family. It took them away from stuff that they used to be able to do. It took them away from a life that they were able to get and made better. Um, think about stuff like that. Um, when you actually sit there and you want to make a change in your life, honestly sit down and think, if I make this change, how is this going to affect other things in my
Right.
life? You know, I know we all sit here and we think, are Prince charming or Princess charming or are they charming or whatever pronouns you want to use. I frankly could care less whatever pronouns you want to use. Um, it's going to make everything better. No, 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 no. Somebody else is not going to make things better for you. You're the only one that's going to make things better for you. Okay, I'm going to repeat that again. Somebody else is not going to make things better for you. You're the only one that's going to make things better for you. Period. End of story. That other person or that other being or that other it thing or whatever the hell you want to call them, they can enhance it, but they're not going to make it better for you because the only one who can make you happy is you.
Right.
Am I wrong, Saul?
Well, um, when we talk about intentions, I think that there's a whole other approach to uh, an intention from just a wish or a goal or something like that. What we tend to think of um, for a resolution, right? That we are an intention includes the outcome in a different way. Um, when we work magic and we form our intention as to what it is that we want to accomplish, pardon me while I rearrange my cables here. There we go. Um, so when you work magic and you form your intention, you form a picture of what this is going to look like, what it's going to feel like. When your intention is clear and strong and the magic happens, it's like deja vu,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're suddenly in the middle of your picture. And I think that when we make resolutions, we tend to have a very shallow dip into that. Uh, going to the gym is one. So I'm gonna go to gym so many times per week, and if I don't accomplish that, then I've failed, and then I might as well not bother anymore, and it tapers off. It's a task typically. I'm gonna do this thing over and over and over, and to me, the intention about going to the gym is about being healthy, feeling healthy, losing weight, although our connection to ideal weight is not necessarily very realistic. Um, if you look back in history, there were all kinds of different ideal weights. And today, for some reason, that ideal weight is as close to zero as you can possibly get. And you know, I just don't think everyone's made that way. Uh, but to be active, to be healthy, to feel better, to feel stronger, to have energy, and to do the things that you want to do. I mean, to me, that's the intention, that you picture yourself uh, in that lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
and then you do things to bring it about. And part of
Right.
that is going to the gym. Part of that is making different food choices. Uh, being on a diet is great, but if you aren't able to eat anything except what's on this little list here, I think that's problematic.
Right.
You have to be able to deviate when it's necessary. Um, it's like forming a goal. I'm going to walk this line from here to here, but there's wet cement right on the path that you had laid. So what are you going to do? You know, walk across the cement because that's the line that you drew, or are you going to adjust to the circumstances, walk around it, get back on track? And the other thing is when you look at something like I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week, um, then that's that's all you're measuring is did I go to the gym 3 times a week, and if I didn't, then I screwed it up. Uh, but but if your goal is feeling healthy and being healthy, and then that's what you notice. And when you attain that, uh, then you get to really appreciate it, and I think you see it on a different level, because it's not just one task; it's affecting everything that you put into it. Just like when we work magic.
There's a song that I've been putting on my Facebook page, and I've been putting on Moonlight Potions and Charms, and it's called Witch, and it's by Devon. Let's see, what's her name? Devon Devon Cole, and it's spelled W.I.T.C.H. It's a wonderful, wonderful song, and I absolutely love this song. And basically, she takes witch and she makes it sound, she says, witch is a woman in total control of herself. That's how she makes it say. And she takes that, and most people think outside of our community now. I'm talking to about people outside of our community. When you say the word witch, they're like, "Oh my God, you're going to take our children and you're going to boil them, or you're going to eat them, or you're going to poison them, or you're going to do something stupid." It's like, sure we are. Yeah, yeah. You know how hard it is to find versions here lately? I mean, it's really, really freaking damn difficult. We've all had jokes, we've done all of that. We've all screwed with them. We've all had our little fun and everything, but this girl has taken that word and she's made it into a very, very powerful empowerment word.
Right.
And she's put it in a song, and I've got it in the notes for anybody to go and actually look at the video she's done with the words. And she starts out as like, rumor on the street is that her apples are delicious. So the jury says she's charming, but her exes say she's wicked. I swear to God, I saw her howling at the sky. I mean, I absolutely love this. She's out to get you, but she's better on your side. And it's wonderful. And she keeps going on and going on. And she's basically asking people, why is it that you don't want a woman who's in control of herself?
Right.
Why is it that you're scared of a woman who's in control of herself? It's an empowerment thing. So this year, when you're setting your intentions, you need to set your intentions as you are in control of yourself. You're putting your own personal power into it. You're not a villain. You're just powerful as hell. And you know it. That's what you need to do. You know, Um, every year I buy a planner, and I've changed my planner this year. I actually went and I got a planner that is for women, and it's from Freedom Mastery, and and I really do love this planner, and I've actually shared some of the statements and questions that is actually asked with my Evermoving We Rise coven. And one of them, it says, what is your life's vision statement? And it says, to how would I love my life to be is what it actually means. And it wants you to sit there and write it in one statement. One statement. So why don't everybody kind of sit down and think about that? My life's vision statement for the year. How I would love my life to be. Just write that down. Think of one statement, because when it comes to intentions, an intention needs to be one statement. And don't make it this long paragraph, okay? I remember teaching um baby witches, and I would have them to turn in their intentions, and sometimes they would give me a whole notebook sheet of their of their one intention. I'm like, no, 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 no. You have to cut it down to the bare necessities. Cut it down to what you actually want. And I know that's hard, but that really makes you sit down and think, what do you want your life's vision to be for this year? Really think about that. And listen to the song Which over and over and over again as you're thinking about this. And maybe she can inspire you to really know, what do you want your life's vision statement to be. And that can get you started on your intentions for this year. And with that, we will be right back with Witch Hat Chats as we are listening to our amazing sponsors. So stay tuned. Anybody can tell you what is on a tarot or oracle card. What matters is seeing beyond what others may not be able to see and help the client to uncover what lies in the mist. What do readings from Moonlight Potions and Charms do? Wednesday, I did this ancestor reading, and it was an amazing reading. And it was a detailed reading. And I remember talking to this customer's ancestors, and it was so delightful. And he wanted some questions to be answered about the magic in his family, because he didn't know. And his family was mostly like most of our families are. You know how everything is like hush hush when it comes to the magic in his family. And he wanted to know, who can he actually talk to about the history of the magic in his family. And I was able to give him specifically who he can go to talk to about that. What particular deity he can actually go to be able to help him with this. And it was just an amazing reading, and talking to his ancestors. They were such a delight, and they told me so much about this customer. It was just an absolutely wonderful, wonderful reading for him. And I was just so happy to be able to give him this wonderful reading. It's really amazing to be able to give people these readings, these products that's really going to help them, and be able to give back to the community, because this is what Moonlight Potions and Charms is about. We want to help you to embrace the power of your own magic. That is what we are all about. It's to help you to do that. Book now and allow our wonderful staff to take care of your spiritual reading needs. And there is so much more in our Wicked store to help you to embrace the power of your own magic. So come on in to Moonlight Potions and Charms at www.moonlightpotionscharms.com and discover the wicked things that ignite the magical passion in you. Have you heard? The King of the Crossroads, Papa Legba, has graciously opened the roads, paving the way for the Papa Legba Altar on the Go to be nominated as Outstanding Product of the Year in the 2024 Witchcraft and Occult Media Awards. Makes Papa Legba Altar on the Go stand out? Complete traveling altar kits. Everything you need for sacred space is right at your fingertips, all neatly arranged in a mystical painter's pail. And it's compact and convenient. A perfect, powerful temporary altar, whether you're a modern nomad, a military soul on the move, or a wanderlust-stricken traveler. It also has additional space for the personal touch. As customization is a key to your spiritual journey, the Papa Legba Altar on the Go leaves room for you to infuse your unique energy. Moonlight Potions and Charms and Papa Legba invites you to join the spellbinding spectacle at the 2024 Witchcraft and Occult Media Awards. Cast your vote for the Papa Legba on the Go as the Outstanding Product of the Year. Your support fuels the magic. Go to https://rb.gy/pc3f11 to cast your vote. Remember, your altar is not just a space, it's a step in your magical journey. Explore the depths of your inner self by visiting Moonlight Potions and Charms at mpcmagic.com. Be ready to embrace the power of your own magic. Have you wondered what spirituality is? Spirituality is limitless, as it does not contain any boundaries on beliefs or practices. Spirituality's most important component is personal experience and allows one to explore it freely. Evermoving We Rise is a spiritual moving tradition, as our name is our lifestyle, because we are persistently rising and moving forward. We realize that everyone's spiritual journey is extremely personal, but more easily traveled with reinforcement. We'll teach you to become friends with your shadow, emerge your authentic self, and give you time and space to develop your own spirituality. And when situations bump back, you'll have the entire community behind you, as we are a magical family who work to sustain each other. Discover the benefits of working within a society dedicated to helping you grow on your personal path. Visit us on our website, Linktree, or Facebook page and discover why we don't fit in the box.
Welcome back to Witch Hat Chats. It is Saul Ravencraft. I am here with Miss Flame Kirby, and we are in our first broadcast of 2025. We're talking about being a woman in control of herself, total control of herself.
And a man can do that too.
And we are also talking about intentions. I have a slightly different way of looking at intention. I agree with you that they have to be simplified, but I think when you first start thinking about these things, trying to remove the complexity and get it down to a fortune cookie size is probably a good idea. But I find that when you reach that next level, that because the first thing that you're dealing with there is what is it you're going to let go of, right? What details are you not going to micromanage about what you're trying to manifest so that you let the universe in, right? But I think that the next level of that is not so much thinking about the simplification, but making sure that you've gotten to what you're really trying to accomplish. So, a lot of times when I'm doing readings with people, the idea will come up is money. Okay, well, do you really want money? Do you want to sit in your room and count your gold? Is that really what you want? Or do you want the things that money might bring you? And almost always that's the case. Every once in a while, I get some people that go, "No, I want the money. I want that." It's like, okay. And the reason for that is, okay, yes, money is a way to get some of these things, but it's not the only way to get these things. And so if you were able to get some of what you wanted without the money, would that be okay? Right? Are you open to that? And if we can get to what it is that you think that money will bring you, and we can focus on that instead of how you think it needs to be accomplished, are we okay with that? And so I think intentions, when we first get started, we're just trying to figure out how to not overcomplicate things. But I think that ultimately we're learning to not micromanage things. That this is what I want to live in, and however it comes about, that's okay. I don't need to decide that. So that's just a thought I had about intention that I wanted to share.
Right. You're trying to figure out the who, the what, and the why. It's basically what you're trying to figure out um, of what you want. Is what you want in your intention.
Right.
You- and you're trying to make it pretty simple. You're not trying to make it too complex. With me, my problem is because I am a Scorpio and I do dive deep into everything because that's what Scorpios do. We dive deep in things. We want the details. We analyze details. Kind of like what Jack Reacher says, details matter. Um,
And they do.
and they do. They matter. Everything's what I have been telling a couple people. Details matter. And I point details out to them. Details, details, details. Things that they have forgotten. I remember. I remember dates. I remember details about them. I pull details out of them that they don't realize that I've pulled out of them. Um, it's just what I do. I and a lot of times I have no way of knowing that I do that, but that's part of being a Scorpio. That's part of who I am. Um, and when I start to teach, I teach that details matter. Um, and I also teach that assumptions, and that's another Jack Reacher thing that I adopted as well. Assumptions can get you killed, you know, because they really can. Um,
Sure.
so you're trying to get things down as simple as you possibly can, but you're trying also not to get them to be too simplified. And I admit, when you're being a baby witch and you're trying to first do your first intention, it can be rather exhausting. And even when you're getting to even to our experience, it can still be exhausting at times. Um, I tend at times to make things very complicated when it's not really that complicated. I've had to have my friends to say, Nikki, it's not that complicated, or Flame, it's not that complicated. Stop making it so damn complicated. Um, when I'm like, I know it's not that complicated, and I try to shave off a lot of the complication. And and as much time as I try to make things not complicated, I still have to practice that law myself. So I admit, I'm not as perfect at it as people think I am. So yes, but when you get down to the basics, you need to figure out who, what you want, and you need to figure out why you want that. Because if you can't figure out why you want that, then you don't need it. And you need to figure out the underlying why, not just, okay, I want this money for my rent. Well, okay, if you need the money for your rent every single month, then there's an underlying cause that is causing you to need that thing for your rent every single month. Because it should only be like an emergency type thing, for 1 month. You should be able to do something that's causing you not to be able to need it from month to month to month to month. You should be able to have something else to come up in the meantime to help you not to need that from month to month to month. You see what I'm saying? So you
Right.
need to figure out what is that underlying cause. While this spell is working for the month to month to month, you need to find out, okay, I need to figure out what's this underlying cause here for the other thing. But we're going back to intentions, and we're going back for the year. Um, so regarding that one thing of intentions for the year. So this is what I had said for my vision statement for the year. I put, align with spirit. My magical life thrives with meaningful, passionate relationships, growth, personal growth, financial stability, inner maturity, vibrant health, and a tranquil soul, while contributing positively to the world. That is my vision statement for the year. That is what I want to do for the year. Now, most people think, well, it should be like Jack and Jill ran up the hill. That wasn't a Jack and Jill ran up the hill statement, but that was a simple statement. It was a complex, simple statement of intention, but that was a statement of intention. And that took me several days to come up with that simple statement because my life in every single portion of it. I didn't want it to include just my magical life. My magical life, as I have told everybody, is everything because I see the world through magic. I don't see the world in mundane and then magical. It doesn't work that way. Saul and I, we've talked about it. I don't see the world that way. If you don't see the world through your magical lens, I don't think you are a magical person. I really don't. Because if you don't see the world cooking, cooking is magical because you are taking a piece of meat or a vegetable or whatever, and you're changing it into something different. Whether you're taking broccoli and you're cooking it into something else. It doesn't matter. Or you're taking hamburger and raw hamburger and you're cooking it into an actual hamburger patty. You're changing the molecules and you're turning it into something else. Okay. And that's without adding anything at all
Right.
to it. Um, you're when you're taking something and you're changing it into something else, you are performing magic. Period. End of story. When you are literally flipping on a um uh what do they call it? The lights in your room, you're performing magic right there. Duh. Because people used to turn around and think that was magic at one point. Because they didn't understand how that was performed. When lightning came across the sky, people were horrified. They thought that their gods were angry with them. They did. They thought that their gods were angry with them until people were able to understand exactly what contributed to them and why it was there and how we could use it. And I can go on and on and on and on and on. The difference between science and magic is science is explain magic. That's all the difference is. So when it comes to intentions, same thing. All you need to do is sit down, or if you're more advanced, just turn around and think, what is it that I want to manifest into this world? That's a very simple question. And answer it. And whoever you are, magically, whether you are a baby witch, own it. Own it. If you are a witch that has had 10, 15, 20 years, whatever, underneath her or his or its or whatever your pronoun is underneath your belt, own it. If you're a conjurer, own it. If you're a chaos magician, own it. I don't give a shit what the hell you call yourself, own it. Okay? Own it, be proud of it. Period. And don't give a damn about what other people call you. That's the reason why I selected that song because she owns it. Period. Stop thinking about what other people think about us. We need to start owning ourselves. We need to start owning what we can do. And we need to start making the changes in the world that we want to see. That's what we need to do. Okay, that's my soapbox.
Let me help you down there. Flame on.
Flame on!
I want to circle back for a moment. We were talking about details and how details are important. I agree. Uh, but we also can't panic when the details are unclear or unaccounted for.
True.
Uh, that I think is the difference. You can be detail oriented and you gain a lot of benefit from that. But if you go back to our divination, basically what he was saying was the more time that I've got, the more details I can account for, the
Mm-hmm.
deeper I can get into this.
Mm-hmm.
But if all I got is a minute, I got something. That's not a problem. So it's important to be able to deal with details, to not get panicky when there's a lot of complexity going on. We all should be able to deal with complexity, and that's a skill you can build, right? If you don't feel like you're able to deal with a lot of complexity right now, that's okay. You can get better. You can grow in that. But at the same time, if you are someone who is very good with details, and I know people that are very detail oriented, and when they see things that are a little bit out of place, they cannot move forward. And that's not where you want to be either. You got to be able uh, to drive according to the conditions, right? And sometimes that means full speed ahead, and sometimes that means slow and careful. So yes, deal with the details, but don't get stuck on them. Joseph Campbell has this wonderful phrase about people in their spiritual path that start uh, turning that path outward to everybody else. So the path is something that you walk, and everything is about your journey, and everything you learn is applied to yourself. And then people will start pointing that finger out toward everybody else and saying, "Well, you're not doing this right, and you're not doing that right." And and he says that these people are stuck on the metaphor, right? They've developed an understanding, but they can't. It's inflexible for them, and they can't comprehend that other people have other experiences, other interpretations of those ideas, and so you're not following the recipe. You're doing it wrong, and it's the same thing with intentions. It's the same thing with detail orientation. We all have to be able to accept that there's more than one perspective, but we're going to pick one that works for us, for us. And if we could try to be right and just be right now, uh, that makes all the difference, in my humble opinion.
And with that, I'm going to end it with a quote. And that quote's going to come from me. And it's also going to come from the character that Tommy Lee Jones plays in Space Cowboys. But it's going to start with me. So when somebody says something like that, I would have to turn around and say, have you ever heard of the term that shit does hit the fan? And with Tommy Lee Jones, he would say, like a flying brick. There we go.
Nice.
And if you guys do not understand where the flying brick comes from, you have got to watch Space Cowboys. You've got to watch that. And
Absolutely.
so for that's all for our absolute marvelous show today. So embrace your power, support your community, and keep your fuzzy babies, your friends, your family, yourself safe and warm. Because it is cold as hell out there. And have an an absolute magical week.